right? Now we're gonna provide the spacing for the doors, windows, the case openings. Whenever you have a door or a window, you're gonna provide the space for that. And also in this video, we're gonna add some textures, some materials to your kitchen. This could be tiles, this could be countertops. So we're gonna do that through patterns. So we have to define them first. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, we're gonna do provide the spaces for the windows and doors and the opening. So what I'm gonna do here on layer walls, if you look at it, that one being selected, see, I don't know exactly where my window is, nor my case opening. So what I'm gonna do with wall selected, or that layer, if you come up here, there's something that's called opacity. So what we can do here is we can lower the opacity so we can look what's underneath. Okay, we're not deleting it, we're just lowering the opacity so we can see through it. So with that one there, now I know exactly what is it that I need to cut. I need to cut that section, and that section. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my marquee and grab that section right there and press delete. I'm gonna grab the section where the window is, press delete, and I'm gonna grab the section where this opening is. Go like this, come like that, come like this, close it and delete. All right, so what we did right now is just created the space for the opening. I think I missed here. I'm gonna just go a little bit further in around here, just like that. Oops, clicked once too many. So I'm gonna go like that and press delete and deselect. So there we go. So now I can bump the opacity now back to 100 so we can see the way it should be. So now we created a space for a door. We're gonna put a door there, we're gonna put a window there, and then we're gonna leave it open because there's no door right there. Okay, so that's how you can do that. Go ahead and cut your sections of where your windows and doors go. Later on, we're gonna put images there. Now, next thing I wanna show you is that we're going to add, in our case, some patterns, some textures. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to add, in my case, I'm gonna put granite here from a countertop. Okay, so now since we're working with layers, this is gonna help us hide some of the images under the other one. All right, so in other words, we don't have to be as precise because we can play around with it and hide the images. So we're gonna create a pattern so we can add here to our countertop. So what you can do, there's some patterns already made in Photoshop, but I'm gonna create my own. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go to Google. I went into Google Images. I put granite, and I like this one here. So you can do whichever. You can do whichever pattern or texture do you want. So I'm gonna select this. I'm just gonna copy it, copy image, and paste it here. Edit, paste. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do now, since it's too big, this is off of proportion. Right? In reality, if I put it here, that the scale of this granite is way too big for that. Not the image, the actual scale of the granite texture itself. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scale it down. What I did, I just put Control T to scale, and scale it down just so that kind of matches the scale of it. See, so now it's a little bit smaller. I think that's about the right size. Maybe we can go a little bit smaller. And again, I'm not talking about the size of this rectangle, I'm talking about the actual image, right? For it to match more or less the scale that we have here. So I think that's about right. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna add this countertop on our base cabinet. And then later on, we're gonna cover it with our top cabinets, but we're gonna layer it. So what we do here, now that we have it, notice that it created a different layer, which that's what we want. I'm gonna double click here and I'm gonna put granite or countertop. Let's put countertop. Okay. That way, again, always label your layers, that way you know what is it they're working with. Now, we're gonna add a pattern here, but before we add this pattern, so in other words, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna put it there and then make a copy of that and make a copy of that. We could, but that takes too long and that's a lot of pieces and layers. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna define a pattern. Okay. We're gonna define a pattern. So what we're gonna do, actually I think it might be there because I did it before. So what I'm gonna do, I want you to select the image All right, select the image just like that. Make sure you're on the right layer and you're selecting the image. And I'm saying make sure you're on the right layer because if not, you're going to be selected something empty or maybe the sketch at the bottom. So I'm selecting the actual granite. I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to go down to define pattern right here. Define pattern. So I'm creating the pattern. Okay, I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to put counter top. That's the name of the pattern that I'm creating. Press OK. Now all I have to do is come back to my marquee. Now I'm going to select like this and I'm going to go just a little bit above that wall and I'm going to show you why. See, don't try to put it right there because it might leave a gap. Just go a little bit over. Okay, go a little bit over the wall and we're going to hide that because we're going to stack it. I'm going to select that section there and then I'm going to select also pressing the plus. I'm going to select this section too. So I'm going to select both of them at the same time. Just about around there. All right. So now that I have done that, I have selected that section. Again, I'm in the countertop layer. I'm going to right click and I'm going to come here to fill. And in fill, maybe you're not in pattern, just go to pattern right here. And then go look for the pattern. In my case, I think this is the one. Let's see if it gives us the name. Countertop, right there. That's the one I just created. Press it, press OK, and there it is. It's gonna add that countertop there. Control D to deselect, and there it is. Now on top of this, we're gonna add the sink and all that. Now you might be saying, well, this looks off because, this looks off because it's going into the wall. Now I did it like this in purpose because now we're gonna start playing with layers. The way that Photoshop works is that you can stack them. It's like if you were to cut a lot of pieces of images from magazines or newspaper and then you put them on a table and you can stack them one on top of the other, you can move them to the side. That's the way Photoshop works. So you can do that with the layers. Right now, countertop, it's on top of walls. That's why the countertop is on top of the wall. But I want for it to be under it. All right, so visually, because I want to see the wall. So all you have to do is I'm going to click on countertop, drag it down for it to go in between. So now notice what happened. This image of the countertop just went under the wall. So see, it's right there. Just the wall is covering it so we can get a nice clean section right there. Okay, now I'm noticing this section looks bigger than that one. So all I'm gonna do is just move it. I'm gonna click on move. I'm gonna use my arrows and just move it just like that so it can more or less balance itself around there. Okay, so now the spacing between here and here is about the same between here and here. Then once you do that, I don't need this right now, so I'm gonna just grab that image that I used to make the pattern, get rid of it, deselect, and there you go. All right, so do the same thing, do it for your countertops and do it for your flooring. Add some texture on the flooring. It could be tile, it could be carpet, well actually it's kitchen, maybe not carpet. It could be concrete or stained concrete. It could be wood. So it's up to you. So go ahead and add it. Now don't worry about, like in my case, I'm not gonna worry about selecting this section here. I'm gonna select the whole flooring and then I'll do what I just did right now, stack the layers so that one layer is on top of the other. Okay, so go ahead and do that. In the next video, we'll cover bringing some images in. All right.